Christine told me this, whatever happened, she had to tell Truly. And so I came over the next day and I just sat down with Truly and just to talk with her. And I'm talking with Truly and I said, "How are you doing?" And she seemed to have dealt with it either very well, or I'm not a psychologist, I'm just a parent, but maybe she just buried it emotionally away, even in spite of how much she loves this house and everything. I'm sort of shocked in a way that she's not more devastated by the divorce than moving. I wish I could get him to stay.
Hi, friends. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, September 19th, 2024. Robin and Cody's financials are going to get a hit, a big hit, because Kody Brown is getting taken to court in Utah. By who? Christine Brown. I had a sense that when Kody and Robin put their house on the market and everything became apparent about what they had, some of the sister wives were going to get a little bit angry. And I can't say that this has anything to do with the other, but after 3 years of a separation, now Christine Brown is taking Kody to court for child support, custody, and to determine paternity. That's right, you guys. Kody Brown is being sued by Christine Woolley. Let's talk about this. So, if you remember when these two split up in 2021, there was a big dispute between Kody and Christine about custody. Kody wanted Christine to go through backdoor ways of verifying and determining custody during conversations that were filmed on camera, that they needed to sign everything and get an agreement formalized in the state of Arizona. He cautioned Christine to ever file anything against him in the state of Utah and told her that if they were going to go to court, only the lawyers would win and the lawyers would take all of her money. Well, I guess 3 years of not getting child support from Kody and him being a deadbeat dad has motivated Christine to seek custody. So Christine Brown filed a paternity case in Utah in Provo District Court. The petition is for declaration of paternity, child custody, parenting time, and child support. Up until now, Kody has been completely off the hook and has not been required to make any payments for his child with Christine. Truly is 14 years old, and the couple split when she was 11. This is going to be interesting because these people don't like this court system, and Christine really had hoped to not have to go this route. Kody had hoped to intimidate Christine not to file for support. And it's really strange because Kody could have done this all himself so that he could have established his own rights as a father, but he didn't. So let's talk about what's happened and what's transpired. Kody Brown is the legal father of Truly Brown. However, despite the birth on national television, it appears that paternity of this child has never been established, meaning that Kody's name is likely not on the birth certificate of Truly Brown. This order is going to establish Kody as the natural father and will force Kody to finally have to pay his rightful share for a child that he fathered out of wedlock. Kody Brown has lavished his other children that he fathered with Robin Brown. They've lived a life of luxury. His kids have received gifts and have a home filled with toys, and they live way above the means of everyone else. Meanwhile, his daughter Truly has been wholly neglected by Kody. He doesn't see her consistently, and it sounds like Christine wants him to finally pay up, and she's doing it. So she's filing for the state to verify and determine and confirm that Kody is the natural father. Based on that, then she's requesting primary custody of Truly and a parenting plan for drop offs and custody visits for Kody, along with child support. As a part of the filing, domestic injunction was filed in court, preventing Kody and both parties from harassment. Both Christine and Janelle have been in a very difficult position with Kody when they had their children because neither one of them had their children claimed by Kody. And Kody was never providing health insurance for them or support of any kind. While he claimed to be providing support because he was in a relationship with them, ultimately he wasn't financially supporting any of them. His money was all going to himself or to whatever wife was his favorite at the time. This order is going to be fascinating because in the state of Utah, she can retroactively receive child support for the past 4 years. So once paternity is actually established, there's a law in Utah that allows someone to get back support or retroactive child support for 4 years. So an obligator's liabilities for past support are limited to the period of 4 years preceding the commencement of the action. In other words, once they determine paternity of her, they'll be able to go back to 2020. And Kody will have to pay all of that child support due from 2020 to 2024 to get caught up. Now, let's talk about what this injunction is. Christina's filed an injunction which states the following: neither parties are allowed to harass, intimidate, or disturb the peace of the other party by any means, including electronically. They are not allowed to commit domestic violence or abuse against the other party or the child. Use the other name's likeness, image or identification to get credit, open account for service, or obtain a service. Cancel or interfere with telephone, utility, or other services used by the other party. Cancel, modify, or terminate or change the beneficiary to allow to lapse or voluntary non-payment of premiums for health insurance, homeowners insurance, automobile insurance, and life insurance. If the petition involves the division of property, personal property, or debts, they must not transfer, encumber, conceal, or dispose of your property or the other person's property unless you have written consent from that party. And if it involves a minor child, they must not take the child on non-routine travel unless you have written consent of the other party, or you have a court order, or you have the following information has been provided to the other party: an itinerary of travel dates and destinations, how to contact the children or traveling party, and the name and the telephone number of all available third persons who will know where the child's location is. In the presence or hearing of the children, they may not demean or disparage, meaning talk badly about the other party, attempt to influence the children's preference regarding custody or parenting time, say or do anything that would negatively affect the love and affection of the children for the other party, or involve the children in the issues of the petition, and make parent time arrangements through the children. When the children are under the party's care, the party must use best efforts to prevent others from doing anything described above, and if necessary, remove the child from this situation. And this is effective as soon as the petitioner files it and for when the respondent receives a copy of the injunction. And this is in effect until there's a final decree entered, or if the petition is dismissed, or if they otherwise agree to something else in writing. And they can dissolve this by filing a motion. If there's another order conflicting provisions governing the parties, for the minor children, the parties must comply with the provisions of the order, and it does not apply to the Office of Recovery Services. So, right now, what she's doing is ensuring that she's safe, that truly safe, and that any assets are safe, and that neither party can travel with Truly without consent of the other party. For right now, it's effective for her. It looks like he might have been served on the 17th. I'm not sure though. But as soon as Kody gets a copy of this, he is not allowed to harass, intimidate, or disturb the peace of Christine by any means. And honestly, this will influence how they speak about each other on the show. And frankly, if I were Christine, this is so helpful for her and for her children, for her safety and for her kids' safety. Christine has shown in this first part of the season that she has not been very negative about Kody. In fact, I would say in the very first episode here, she's been very trying to be as positive as possible. Kody, on the other hand, has been very disparaging of Christine, has been accusing her of colluding with Janelle and doing things to intentionally hurt him, making comments about her behavior and how she's all happy now. It's wild if you think about the differences in the way they're handling this. Christine is trying to take the high road and she'll answer questions from producers, but overwhelmingly, she was trying to keep things as positive as possible. And while Kody was bitching and complaining about having to be in the same room as Christine, Christine was like trying to keep things as like, this is super awkward for them. I totally see that because they're totally outsiders. But she has said repeatedly that she has not disparaged Kody to the kids in any way. What I actually like about this is that Kody is held by a court from disparaging Christine. And he's also held by a court from abusing Truly in any way. So he cannot get violent with her in any capacity. And listen, she's 14 years old. So I hope that that's still not happening. But corporal punishment is very common in the system. And this is going to establish care for medical care. So this is a good thing because Christine's kids have always been neglected. Always. She had to obtain her own health insurance to get surgery for Isabel, and Kody paid nothing. Truly will now have, once this is all established, a father that will be on the hook for either splitting the cost of health insurance or one parent has to hold the health insurance policy. He'll be on the hook for child support, retroactive child support, and he'll also be required to adhere to the rules of the order, including no harassing, intimidating, or disturbing the peace of the other party. I have a sense that Kody very well could be doing all of those things. And if you see the way that he speaks about Christine and even Janelle, it's too bad that Janelle doesn't have any minor children anymore because it would be wonderful if all of the women could get an order like this against Kody. So it's like an indirect benefit that she's getting in all of this. And I will say that because Truly is 14, in the state of Utah, a child can say where they want to live. So she's doing this also very strategically because now that Truly is 14 years old, Truly can tell the court, I want to live with my mom. So, according to the law, in Utah, the court will usually not consider a child's preference unless they are 14. However, the child's preference are not the only factor the court finds. The judge will also place more weight on the child's wishes if they are 16 or older, and the judge is not obligated to follow the child's wishes. So, prior to her turning 14, they wouldn't have taken in to consideration what Truly wanted and what was best for Truly. So Truly has an ability to advocate for herself, which I'm guessing she's going to advocate staying with her mother and staying with her mom and David. And Kody won't be able to like throw around that he wants 50-50 custody because she'll be able to testify in court if she needs to and say, this is what I want. Now, it states that the judge doesn't have to follow those orders, but if Christine's able to demonstrate that he's been a pretty absent father, which he has, I think it will be determined that it's in her best interest to stay with her mom. So this will be an order that he actually has to follow in the court. He'll have to follow the stipulations of non-harassment, non-disparagement, non-abuse, which are all good things, and it actually keeps Christine so much safer than she's currently in the position of today. I have a sense that Kody might have known that this was coming. I don't know. I also have a sense that this is going to put a further burden on his finances because until now, he's never been obligated to pay for any of them. They've always lived under this like promise of, I'll do it for you or I'll be there for the kids. But this is actually going to hold him accountable and say, nope, you have to actually take care of your children. If he would have been a stand up guy, he would have done this when they split. He would have settled this all in court. They would have made it so that he paid child support, but he never did. He believed, I think, that he could get away with not having to pay for his kids because he didn't have to pay for them for years. And the women were forced to take care of the kids while he was out running around chasing tail. So a lot of the proceedings in Utah are sealed. Public documents like the injunctions are public. And then there's also, he has to take classes. So, as a part of this process, on top of the fact that they have this injunction for non harassment, they have to take parenting classes within 60 days of the filing. So, Christine has to finish parenting classes, and then Kody has to take parenting classes within 30 days after receiving their notice. So, they both have to take parenting classes, which are also a good thing because it establishes the parenting rules for the two of them. This will also, allow them to establish rules around discipline and faith. So some custody agreements can prevent Truly from being influenced by dad, from being a part of the cult, or being in the polygamous world, or not taking her to church services. It can make it so that the child is not influenced negatively by the system, so it's protecting her. It should be able to protect her in a way from the cult. At least I hope so. So I'm actually so proud of Christine for doing this. I know I'm just kind of rambling because I'm frankly shocked that she would do this. I know that Kody likely will not respond well to this. He does not like to be sued. He doesn't like to part with his money. I expect this to be a fight. I also expect this to be covered on the show. It's absolutely wild to me that this is happening while they're still on a show together, because had he done this correctly and it done what he needed to do, this wouldn't have had to become a fight, right? Like, it wouldn't have had to get to a point where you're on a show on the same contract with someone suing them to pay for your kid. I mean, think about that. She's suing her coworker, who's also the father of her daughter. So this proves a couple things, y'all. It proves that Kody was never on the birth certificate of Truly. It also proves that he hasn't been paying child support, and she'll be able to get back child support, which is going to make Kody furious because he hates losing money, and he's probably already got so many bills. But frankly, go Christine. While there's a lot of factors in this case that will remain private and not viewable to the public, this will or could potentially expose the income disparities that have occurred in the family. So if they go back 4 years, for instance, and have to look at Kody's income, they might see that Kody was taking in all of the money from the show and that Christine was taking in nothing and only making money off maybe doing her plexus or selling LuLaRoe. And if that's the case, he could be on the hook for a lot more child support because his income was so much greater than hers. And she has a house now in Utah, and she's purchased a rental with David. And theoretically, her income is better today, but she also relies on and has David's income to help pay for all of this. And he has a successful business. So it'll be interesting to see what, if any, of this could end up on the show. And I'll keep an eye on the case to see what gets filed. A lot of times in these cases in Utah, you'll get to view orders from the court. So if a judge makes an order on child custody, they'll that order will be public. If child support is agreed to, that order will be public. If the parenting time decree becomes a order, that will become public. And the injunction, if it gets modified or dismissed, that will become to public. So there will be a way for me to continue to track all of this for you to keep you up to date. My hope is that Christine is fighting not only for herself and her safety, but the safety of Truly, because right now we don't know where Kody and Robin stand when it comes to their church. We don't know if Kody still is attempting to influence any of his kids into being a part of that church. Mary went to the church for a release, which tells me that there's involvement of this family still in the church. And with Christine out of that church, she has a very critical need to protect Truly from the possibility of being influenced into plural marriage because she's 14 and the guys in that cult are after young girls. So I'm proud of Christine for protecting her daughter. I would love to see this become a pattern now and see Janelle and Mary sue Kody in Arizona over their property and assets that they have been swindled out of. And we'll see if this motivates them to do so. Things are about to get very spicy, but for now, Christine and Truly are protected. And for that, I am so grateful. Given Kody's escalating and spiraling anger and hostility towards Christine and his ex wives. What are your thoughts about all of this? Make sure to leave some comments below. Do you think Kody is going to be livid? Do you think this will further put stress on his marriage with Robin? And what do you think about this protection from the cult? Do you think she'll request that in court? Let me know all below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. We are getting pretty close to 400,000 subscribers, and I'd love to get there soon. Also, hit the bell on the way out. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, everyone.